Americans collectively owe over $17 trillion in debt, and most of us are making the same mistakes trying to pay it off. Debt is everywhere, but the way you pay it off could be costing you thousands of dollars. Welcome back to Simply Money. Whether it's credit cards, student loans, or medical bills, getting out of debt can feel overwhelming. But it's not just about paying it off, it's about paying it off smart. Today, I'll show you how to avoid the biggest debt mistakes people make and what to do instead. Let's talk about the most common mistakes people make when trying to get out of debt. 1, they have no plan. They just throw money at different balances and hope for the best. As bills come in, they just make a payment. And there's no plan, no strategy. Number 2 is focusing on small debts, even when high-interest ones are draining their finances. I know there'll be debate over whether you should use the snowball or avalanche methods of debt payoff. We're going to look at both of those and give you a bonus tip on how to incorporate them. Number 3, ignoring interest rates. A $5,000 credit card balance at 24% interest can cost you over $1,200 a year just in interest. That's an extra $100 a month from interest that you could be using toward your lifestyle. Number 4, consolidating without understanding the terms. Some people roll credit cards into loans with longer terms thinking it's a win, but end up paying more in interest over time. Number 5, skipping emergency savings. One flat tire and they're back in debt again. Example, Mike paid off 2 small debts first, but kept carrying a credit card balance at 22%. After 2 years, he realized he paid more in interest than the original debt. Now let's explore the 2 powerful debt repayment strategies and how to choose the right one. The first is the debt snowball method. Just to recap for those who are not familiar with this, is you pay off the smallest balance first. This builds momentum and motivation and is great for people who need quick wins and emotional stimulus. You pay the smallest amount as much as you can afford, and then on the other balances, you pay the minimum, no matter what the interest rate is. This makes you feel like you've had victories, you get debts paid off and cleared out of your books, then you can roll that amount into the next smallest debt and continue paying until that one is paid off. And you continue that cycle, and it snowballs, and more money begins to get put onto individual debts. The pros of this, it's motivating and it's simple. As you can see here on the chart, if we had the example of having these 5 different debts and the various amounts with the interest rates that they have, you put the smallest debt first, you pay as much as you can come up with in your budget and pay on that. Then whatever amount you're paying on that, you roll that amount into the next debt, and you just keep rolling it down until all 5 of those debts are paid off. The cons of this is it might cost more in interest if you ignore the larger, high-interest debts because you're paying on those longer. But if you stick to it, that's a win. If you do the other method, the avalanche method, and you get discouraged early because you're not seeing any wins, then that's a con as well. You have to decide, do you need the emotional kick? Do you need the emotional adrenaline to be able to pay some debts off quickly to see momentum? Then go with the snowball method. The second method is the debt avalanche method. Very similar to the snowball method. You line all your debts up, but instead of from the smallest amount to the largest amount, you align them with the highest interest to the lowest interest. With this one, you focus on the highest debt first. You pay as much as you can on the debt with the highest interest and the minimum payment on the others. Once you get that highest interest debt paid off, you begin rolling that money into the next highest interest and continue doing that until all debts are paid off. This saves you the most money over time because you're eliminating the highest debt first, but it requires discipline. The biggest debt might take longer to eliminate, so you're not seeing the victory of having a debt completely paid off for a longer period. The pros of the avalanche method is it's the most cost-effective. Mathematically, it is the one that saves you the most money. The snowball is an emotional victory. It's not focused on the mathematical, which one saves you the most money. It's the one that brings you the most emotional victory. The cons to the avalanche method is it's less emotionally rewarding early on. But here's a bonus tip. Some people use a hybrid method. Start with a snowball to build some momentum, get a couple of the very small debts paid off, feel some victories emotionally, then switch to the avalanche to save money in the long run. Again, you have to personalize this depending on what your debts are, what your psychology of money is, and how you function. But you need to stick to a plan. The number one thing we pointed out was people fail because they don't go into it with a plan. Both of these are great plans, and the hybrid model is a great plan, but you have to use the plan and stick to it. Here's a story of a viewer. She had over $20,000 in debt and tried to tackle everything at once. It felt like running on a treadmill. Lots of effort, no progress. Then she switched to the avalanche method, automated her payments, and tracked her progress on a whiteboard. Seeing her interest payments drop each month gave her confidence, and in just 18 months, she was debt-free. If you need help with this, we have a tool in the Simply Money Mall. You can get a free member key in the description below. There is a premium version. You can use these tools completely free in the base model that you can get a free member key, and you can set up your debt repayment plan, whether you want to use the avalanche or the snowball method. You set it up, and then it tracks it for you. It shows you, depending on what your debts are, how much you plan on paying, when you will be debt-free, when each of your debts should be paid off. It's a great visual for tracking and planning and helping you achieve your goals. Check that out. Again, it's a free membership in the description below. There's a great quote: "You don't have to be rich to get out of debt. You just need a plan and patience." So let's recap real quick. Avoid random payments. Always have a plan. Understand your interest rates. How much are you really paying? So many times we just think, well, I'm paying the minimum, or I'm paying a little bit more than the minimum, so I'm making progress. But what is the interest rate? What is the true cost of what you are doing carrying that debt? Again, choose a strategy, the snowball or the avalanche, or a hybrid version of both. And don't forget to set up an emergency fund. Start with a small amount, whether it's $1,000 or $2,000, whatever you're comfortable with, but put an amount aside. So if you get a flat tire, you get a small medical bill, you get some unexpected emergency arising, you don't have to go back into debt. You have a little bit set aside. So before you start making those extra payments on your credit cards and bills and debts, start building up that emergency fund. And then don't forget to automate and track your progress. Debt isn't just about numbers. It's about behavior. What's been your biggest debt mistake or your best tip? Share in the comments below. We learn from each other. If you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified of future videos. We appreciate you joining us, and I'll see you next time on Simply Money.